Hey everyone, and welcome to the Young CUBS Parenting Podcast. My name is Charlie Blythe. Today I am not joined by my husband. He is not here, and that is because we are having a Mother's Day special. So I'm joined with two incredible women because today we just want to honor and love on all the mums watching, not just one type of mum, but all mums. So the working mum who might be doing drop off and then running to the office, the single mum that is probably carrying double the weight with grace, and the stay at home mum that probably hasn't had an uninterrupted thought for many years, the adoptive mum, the foster mum, the well-seasoned mum, the new mum, the mum longing to be a mum, the stepmom, the mum-in-law, all mums. Shout out to my mum. We just want to honor you today, and we want to have a really real and raw conversation on motherhood. We all know that motherhood is a beautiful thing, but it can also be incredibly challenging. It has highs and lows and mountains and valleys. It's joy and laughing one minute and it's tears the next. And so we want to talk not just about the highs today, but also kind of those things that we don't post about on social media. We don't want to just talk about the highlight reels. We want to talk about what motherhood really looks like for the everyday woman. And so I am very blessed today because I'm joined by Regina and Alice. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Regina, you are I feel like you're just a boss woman, okay? You're like a founder, an entrepreneur, a leader, an academic. You work in tech. You have two small children, 2 and 4. Tick, tick, tick. That's a lot. And Alice, you are an incredible pastor. You are a mum of 3 beautiful children. And I also just love the fact that you speak into parents that have neurodiverse children. You run groups to bring them together just to encourage each other on that journey. And I know that you've really blessed people through that kind of ministry that you've started as well. So it's great to have you ladies with us. And I'm excited just to chat today about the kind of the real, the raw, the good, the bad, the ugly of motherhood. What I always love to do, ladies, is start with a quick fire round, okay? And it's the first thing that comes into your head, all right? You can't think too much about it, all right? So I'm going to go Alice, Regina, and then Regina, Alice. Okay. So you're not aware of where I'm going to go, okay? All right? Okay, let's go. Coffee or tea to survive the day?
Coffee, definitely.
Coffee.
Bedtime routine, calm and peaceful or total chaos?
Total chaos. I'm always apologising at the end of it.
Calm chaos.
Calm.
I know that wasn't.
Calm
that
chaos.
was.
Love that.
It's
Love
not
that. I love
chaotic,
that.
but yeah.
The TV show you've watched 1,000 times because of your kids?
Probably Bluey. But then also, I feel like I'm watching a lot of the Minecraft movie at the moment.
Love a bit of Bluey though. I feel like it's actually quite
Bluey's
funny.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, what about you, Regina?
Bluey, but Hugo's now really into watching people narrate the Mario game. So
I love that.
I'm telling myself that it's because he's strategic.
Yeah, love that.
So yeah,
Love that, love that. The snack you steal from your kids the most?
I feel like there's this. I don't know where it's from. Bevita what's that biscuit brand?
Yeah, Pivita.
But
I just said that with
yeah.
an accent. I don't know why.
you did.
Pivita.
Isn't it Belvita?
But-
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it is.
It's Belvita.
But it's got
Maiden.
like something in the middle, like a jammy thing, a creamy thing in the middle.
Okay.
They basically
Doesn't
don't
really sound
get-
like a kid snack, mate. It sounds like an adult snack that you're giving to your kid because it sounds divine.
Maybe it is because they never get it.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my husband are always.
Kid snack that you eat that they don't get.
Yeah. basically.
Love that.
Probably just like a chocolate rice cake, something like
Chocolate rice cake. I do love a chocolate rice cake.
Yeah.
Okay, the bribe you use most often?
that. Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Mine actually has to be gaming. It's terrible. Don't judge me.
No, that was my
What's
second.
what's the weirdest thing you've ever found in your handbag since being a mum?
Probably like an action figure or something weird.
Okay.
Or like oh no, I know probably some snack that's completely been in there but I haven't
Mushed.
realised. Yeah, and it's disgusting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that gives me the ick.
Wipes.
Wipes. Do
I
you
think
have
I
them
just
all the
always
time?
have them. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I
Still.
get
I'm
that.
still I'm coming out of that.
I get that. What's the weirdest thing you've ever Googled as a parent, or maybe ChatGPT these days?
I don't really Google things, to be honest.
Oh,
I think
alright.
I just
You don't need
figure it out.
answers.
Ben,
Yeah,
my
just
husband
think-
does that. I
I
don't do the
just-
Googling.
Oh,
I think
I feel mad
I know
judgment
what to
here.
do.
I Google everything.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm like, what to say when my boys are talking to me about their willies? You know, that kind of thing.
I'm the same. I don't really Google a lot.
Okay, just me.
Probably a rash of some sort.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that.
Do love
But
that.
I try not, it's just such a, you're like, anything you Google is just never nice what you find.
One thing you do as a mum that your younger self would judge you for?
Probably screens. I just think sometimes it's survival.
I agree.
Yeah, I think probably I'm sort of horrified at how often we have McDonald's. Because I feel like I was allowed McDonald's like once an academic term.
Yeah, right, same.
And it's really different now.
Yeah.
For
No,
mine.
mine definitely I think would be snacks because
Yeah.
I remember when I got in from school, I was allowed like a cup of milk and like 2 Maryland cookies. Like I'm not even joking. Like we were never allowed 3. And my kids come in and they're like,
Yeah,
everything.
it's free reign. Free
like,
reign as well. They just go and get it. Like
Yes.
I feel like that was really not allowed
No.
to just
and
go
my
and
kids
help
go and put them
yourself.
in their bags themselves. Yeah. Something motherhood has made you surprisingly good at.
Managing my time.
Okay. Yeah.
I do crazy things. Like I can make dinner at like 2 a.m. for the next day.
What?
Because then I know that I can go
is
out
crazy.
after work and not have to worry about what they're going to eat.
I mean, we'll talk about more of that later. The 2 a.m. cooking. Yeah, I'm not there yet. Not quite managed that.
I think it's made me a really good audience member because there's a lot of plays and performances in my house. So I'm a really encouraging audience member.
Oh, I love that. I actually can't think what mine would be. What's made me surprisingly good at? Oh, I think maybe like with the mums and stuff, I've become like quite good with the mums. Like at the beginning, I was quite like, I'm never going to be that mum that hangs for coffee after school. Because it wasn't really me. And now I feel like I've become really good with the mums, you know. And when I meet a new mum, I'm really good at bonding with them about mum stuff, you know.
That's really good.
Thank
That
you.
is good.
I really get that.
Thank you. What's a mum hack you wish you'd known sooner?
I think maybe that I've got like weird hacks around like buying oversized clothes but making it work so that the clothes last longer and you're not buying clothes every 3 months. So probably around the clothing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't think of a clever hack, but I think a boring one is just, I think for so long I was trying to find the same Tupperwares and then I'm like, just buy more. Do you know what I mean? Just buy more. Like, let's not be like really searching for these Tupperwares. Like, let's just have a few extra.
Got it. A hack. I don't know if this is a hack, but mine would be banana cases.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you guys are not kind of so impressed with my banana case hack that I just gave you both. Just so you know, bananas get so mushy in bags and they are disgusting. And then my kids don't eat them.
Yeah.
So I buy bananas and it's pointless because I can't take them anywhere.
But then what if they're just in a lunchbox?
No, Regina, they are loose in a bag. That's
I
why.
think I'd put mine, in a lunchbox.
Okay. Going on to the next question. If you could outsource one parenting task forever, what would it be?
Cleaning.
Okay.
I really hate vomit. So I'll take poo over vomit every time.
Same.
So I've really struggled with anxiety about it. So I would, if it was like, it sounds going to sound really mean, but if your child had a sick bug and you could sort of be like, okay, I'll see you in 48 hours, you know, like,
Oh yeah, when they ask it. Oh,
I like the extra cuddles, but other than that, like I hate all the surprise of like, when's it coming, cleaning up carpet. Like I just hate all of that. And am I going to get it? Like, I just hate it.
Yeah, it's pretty grim.
So that would be I'd definitely outsource that.
Okay. I think I would do one that's more regular though, you know?
Yeah,
So if I could get
fair
rid of something, I would get rid of like, I can't stand getting my kids putting their socks on and stuff. Like getting them dressed.
Getting them
Yeah,
In my
stress
house.
is
It's
the
like, there's a
worst.
bump in my sock. Take it off. And I'm like, yeah, so I think
it took like 45 minutes just to dress Hugo. And I'm like, why is it taking so
that's
long?
what I mean. That's what I mean.
They run
It's
away
just-
from me. Yeah.
It's just stressful.
Yeah.
If motherhood had a soundtrack for you, what song would be on it?
Oh man.
I'm still standing.
That's good. I'm still standing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of one, but I thought of a negative one and a positive one.
Give them
My
to us
negative
both, but you have to
one
sing
was
it.
not negative, but my one, you have to be able to sing it, don't you?
No, you sing it to me now.
Okay, well, it was a club track and it was by Deep Side Piece, Deep End. And it was like, I used to listen to it when I was doing stress. It was like, I've been trying not to fall off the deep end.
I've never heard this in my life.
It's an
I love
absolute
it.
banger.
I love it.
It's very negative. Don't listen to it
I
as
just
a
want to
mother.
say I really appreciate that you just sang that.
Yeah, I know. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for singing my one.
Yeah.
And the other one was Ain't No Mountain High Enough, because if I listened to that,
Yeah,
then I
that's
feel
good.
really like full of love for my kids, I find.
that's good.
I'm literally like, yeah, actually, I'll get to you.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one, one word, just one word that describes motherhood for you. One word to sum it up for you.
I think it's 2, but the first thing that came into my mind was worth it.
Worth it. Oh, love that.
I don't want to sound like, twee, but it's like joy, because I do get so much joy out of them. I think it's really hard, but there's a lot of joy as well.
I love that.
What's
Well,
yours?
oh,
Yeah, don't dodge it.
I definitely did try to dodge it.
One
then, 'cause I can't
word,
think of one.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's really hard. I like to give the
wrote it.
question and not,
I was going to say, you made us do it.
What would I say? I mean this like in the greatest way, but I would say like, how can I say like a loving sacrifice, but as one word.
You can
Like,
hyphenate it.
It's a sacrifice, but it's worth it. So we're going to go with like sacrifice. And that, my friends, is love and sacrifice combined. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I want to start off. Okay. We're going to get real. We're going to get raw. But I want to talk about this kind of the myth of the good mum. That's how I want to start today, because I think there is this myth out there that there is this like good mum, or the way we're supposed to be. There's this kind of unspoken standard of how we're meant to be, or what we're meant to be able to accomplish and do. Like the myth of the good mum can do it all. She can keep a house in order. She can keep her kids in order. She can make really nutritious meals for her children whilst just, managing everything, working, cleaning, cooking, all this kind of stuff with a smile on her face and patience and grace. And I feel like it is this kind of standard that maybe isn't achievable for a lot of us, or well, at least for me, it's not very realistic, because like you said earlier, like it can be very chaotic and it can be messy. Yes, beautiful, but it's not always plain sailing. What do you think about this kind of, I guess, the myth of the good mum? Do you think it is this standard that we should aspire to? Do you think it exists? Do you think it's just something that is literally a myth that we will never be able to get to? Does this resonate?
I think it depends on how people, I guess, define what a good mum is. But I think for me, I think being a good mum is actually just having grace for yourself. And grace for those around you, whether you have a partner, whether you have family that help you with your kids, whether it's actually for your kids, whether it's for friends that also becoming parents. I think when we have more grace in our life, like a big thing for me was I was giving myself a hard time for not always having the house clean, because that's something, I have OCD. But it got to a point where it's like, okay, I have deadlines and then the kids and this, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to tell myself that my house has to be perfect every single day. Like, I'm giving myself grace that the washing can take a few days, even if it means I'm sitting with my feet up on the sofa because I need 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I become a better mum when I give myself grace.
Yeah. Someone said to me once, because I do like my house in order. Someone said to me once, like, your children will never, ever, ever remember how clean your house is, but they will remember how much you play with them and how present you are. And it's really like stuck with me. Dan's very good at reminding me of that. Like, you don't need to be doing that right now. Come and get with the kids. What about you? Yeah, I guess, like, what does a good mum mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of chat about this good mum thing. And I think pretty quickly into my motherhood journey, I was like, this doesn't exist, because the only way you define it is because you are looking at something and you're thinking, I'm not good at that. So it's literally a negative. It's like you are seeing something in someone else and you're defining that, oh, that's good and I'm bad. And it just doesn't exist, because that person isn't doing everything really brilliantly, and I think it's just that lie about comparison. It's like you focus on, the thing that you're not doing brilliantly, but you don't look at all the amazing things you are doing. And I think I just think it's so destructive. I really do. This label of a good mum. The fact that we're even having that conversation and that we're saying, oh, yeah, what do you think it takes to be a good mum? That shows that we're good mums because we even care to have that conversation. Do you know what I mean? So I think so often women are really hard on themselves about this good mum lie. And the reality is, like, if you are there for your kid, you're feeding them, you're giving them everything that you can, you're saying sorry when you need to, that you're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah. The struggle is the culture today, right? We're growing up, we're raising kids, I should say, in this world where we can compare our motherhood journey to everyone else's all the time. It doesn't matter what time of the day, you can go and find out how another mother is doing it. Social media obviously plays into that. There's so many videos out there on what you should do, how you should be, what rules you should be following. Me and Dan literally is hilarious. We must send about 3 parenting videos to each other a day. Normally, having the passive aggressive dig about
we're the exact same.
You should be doing this
so
more.
many,
you should be doing this more.
Like the role of the father.
Yeah, this person. Yeah,
really important how the father treats the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think the culture that we're raising our children in, and social media, being able to compare how we do things with everyone else, is it helpful, or do you think it kind of hinders us? Do you think it's can be beneficial for us, or do you think actually it's just really unhealthy that we have this ability to be able to compare how we do things, what other people are doing all the time?
I think the knowing when to switch off is probably more of the issue. Like social media, there's everything is a tool, right? But it's about how you use it. And I think even we were talking earlier about screens. I mean, screens are, from my perspective, screens are bad based on how you use them, and what you let your children watch and what you let them access, and whether they're supervised or unsupervised, and all the list can go on. And I think something I do sometimes worry about is if I'm blessed to be in a position now where I'm able to provide more for my children, how do I build up resilience in them in a way that doesn't harm them? So I do think exposure to some things that might even in theory maybe harm them, such as social media, isn't necessarily a bad thing. They, at the right age, at the right time, have to learn to decipher what that means for themselves in their life, having independent thinking. I had a friend who was telling me that, they have a family member who's Gen Alpha, who wasn't answering a question without checking ChatGPT. And, those kind of things is no, I don't want you to use that tool in that way. I want you to have independent thinking. So I think for me, it depends, but I don't think everything that appears to be bad is necessarily bad. I think if we raise our children to, be independent thinkers and be aligned with, what the word is saying, I think they'll be fine.
Do you find yourself comparing yourself as a mother to others online?
Yeah, I think maybe early, of course, I'm sure we all do it sometimes, but I think that I do feel that I have evolved a little as social media has evolved and as, my relationship to social media has evolved. But I think that it's both and. So I think it's sometimes it isn't good, the comparison, but then sometimes social media is actually been quite helpful to me as a mum, because it's made me realize, oh, that's actually a really good idea for how to organize the clothes for school. Or that's really helpful to know that hack for, chopping this thing or, So I think that it's definitely both. But I think that generally speaking now, I don't know. I think you're so right. I think it's you do start to discern, don't you? And I think that that's the thing. It's now if we saw some woman prancing around a field, homeschooling her kids, it's we'd be great, that's great for her, that's wonderful. But we know that that's not the whole story.
That is what you see though, right?
Yeah. But we know now to decipher, don't we?
Yeah, but I do sometimes struggle. I'll be honest, I follow quite a few mums that are businesswomen mums, and I'm not even joking, they get up at 4 a.m. Yeah. They start their routine at 4 a.m. You're going to tell me you're a 4 a.m. starter. Okay.
I like slow mornings. I'm a night owl.
Yeah, same.
So they start their morning routine at 4 a.m. because they got to get the exercise in, and then they have their quiet time and then they kind of like go and have this like really nutritious meal, and then they have their matcha, and then they're like waking their kids up, you know, like, hello, and they've done everything already, and then they like go and bossing it at work, they come home, they're like talking about how they're really present, they're in the background, their house is immaculately clean, and I'm like, how? You've been up since 4 doing all this? Like, I do think it is, like, I find it really helpful, like you're saying, like, definitely when it's like tools to help you and equip you. But I do also find, I catch myself sometimes like, oh, okay, I mean, maybe if I do need to exercise more as mum and get that in, and it is needing to be a priority, maybe I should do the whole 4 a.m. I mean, it ain't gonna happen for me personally. But I do find myself sometimes like maybe comparing like how I'm doing things or what it looks like, because it's just so readily available all the time, and no one is posting the not so good bits. Okay, I would love to maybe speak to both of you now into your situations a little bit. Like I said earlier, Regina, you are like a founder. You run your own company. You're in the tech world. I feel like there's nothing that you do not do. You also have 2 little children, so 2 and 4. What does that juggle look like for you on a daily basis? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it can be really hard sometimes. But I will say, for me, I've got an extremely supportive husband. And he always says, oh, you'd be able to do it without me. And I'm sure there's single mums that are doing it, but I wouldn't want to. And I'm so glad that I do have him as a support, because it enables me to just have more bandwidth when I need to go somewhere from the office. And he's got, I love my children, but I just don't enjoy the pick up and drop off whole scenario. My husband loves it. So I think
that's amazing.
Yeah, he loves. When we first met, he was like, I was like, what do you want to do? What are your aspirations in life? I was talking about like where I was going to go in my career. He was like, I just want to be a dad and a husband. And I think I was probably very stuck on. I was like, is that it? But it was like perfect, because, you know, I want those things too, but I'm very career driven as well, very entrepreneurial. So like, it was like perfect. But yeah, I say all that to say that, yeah, he's a big support when it comes to the routines, but there's a lot of things that I do as well. And I might do them at weird, ungodly
like
hours,
2 a.m. cooking.
Like 2 a.m.
Is that
cooking.
like legit? You do that?
Yes, there was a time that, this was last year, I had my first LinkedIn brand trip, which I didn't know was a thing. So I had to fly out, and I realized they didn't have food. And that's one thing he doesn't do. He doesn't cook.
Uh-oh, Reggie. And you're being called out here live.
And I didn't want them to have takeaway. So yeah, I cooked for like 3 days whilst I was away.
Okay.
So I batch cooked a couple meals for them.
Okay.
And that's like a love language thing as well. I think like he's like, yeah, she appreciates me. I mean, I don't need to do that. He doesn't ask for it, but I think it's,
Yeah. And I think as well, like, obviously I work full time, Dan works full time. You know, there's this whole saying, isn't it? Like it has to be 50-50. But I think that's just such an off saying, because it just, when you're both full time, life's full on, I don't think it's ever going to be able to be 50-50. Sometimes it's 70-30. Sometimes it's 90-10. Sometimes you can give more and the other person can't for whatever reason, or they can give more and you can't. And I think, I don't know, for me, that's, I always remember that. Like, it's okay if I'm going through a season that's really busy in work and I cannot do as much maybe as Dan in that season, or Dan might be traveling and I have to pick up more. But I think that's the beauty of parenting and a great, you know, healthy relationship, is that you've got each other's backs in those seasons. Have you ever had to manage the tension of like showing up for work versus showing up for your kids?
Yeah, no, I have. I probably can think of a couple examples. One was actually, I completed my MBA last year. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And the last module was abroad. And Heidi was 8 months.
Okay.
And I remember getting to like get my ticket, and the BA attendant was like, oh, were they not going with you? And I was like, no. And she's like, no, you can't go. You can't go. Your baby is too young. Oh, wow. And I literally burst into tears. Because I was already feeling so guilty about going, and I was still breastfeeding. And now the BA attendant is telling me I can't go because almost, am I a bad mother for going? And they were completely, and I was also getting asked from family like, oh, what are you going to do? Like, what's Reggie going to do? And I'm like, he's going to look after the kids.
Right.
And
which
he
can do.
Yeah, which he can do. And he was completely fine. So that was a bit difficult. And then when I returned to work.
From mat leave, you mean?
Yeah, from mat leave. Both times it was difficult, but probably really hard after I had Hugo, my first son, because we got married in 2020, but our COVID wedding was 2 years later. So I was returning to work, I was getting married or having a wedding, and then my mum died like immediately after my wedding, and I was back to work. So that was like a lot to think about. I have, a baby, I have to plan a funeral, planning a wedding, and all those things was really, really difficult to navigate. But the biggest thing that I will always say that just helps me just have a balance, my time with God and the strength that I obtain from him, because it sometimes, like when it rains, it just falls and it's like constant. But God always gives us a way out. I think that was literally what my saving grace was. Okay, how do I navigate being a high performer in a new business when I'm just grieving like crazy? I'm hormonal. My breasts are leaking. Like everything was just, it felt like it was going wrong. But I feel like sometimes in those moments where it feels like motherhood is going wrong, that's when I feel like God reminds us that it was never me doing it on my own anyway. So remember to re-baseline and come to him, because that's what helps us re-baseline and helps us strengthen as mothers.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's this whole thing of like being successful in both your job and in parenting, and I guess Jan, I will never forget, Dan challenged me once about that. Like, if you're successful at work, but you're coming home and have got nothing left to give your kids, then how can you say that you're successful? And it was really challenging, because sometimes I can come home and I'm so exhausted that the last thing, I'm really struggling to even like get down on the floor and play. I'm like, and that's when I was talking about tidying the house and stuff. But I think that's something I've really had to like learn as well. Like, I want to be successful in all areas of my life.
And then sometimes we implode. So when you asked me that question, what ended up happening after I had my daughter was I was trying to be perfect in every area, and I burnt out completely. And it was almost like this internal burnout.
Yeah, wow.
Like no one could see that I was literally like dying on the inside. And I had to end up taking 6 months off work, which I would never ever, I didn't even know, like I would just never ever do that.
Right.
But it was everything that I needed. And sometimes you have to forego something in order to make sure you can show up.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Alice, I'd love to chat to you a little bit about kind of, I guess the challenges for you that maybe people don't see since becoming friends with you. I've been so inspired by you, and just, number one, by the way, just hearing you speak so openly and vulnerably about kind of your journey with parenting children with additional needs. Like, it's really inspiring, but I know that you talking so openly about that really encourages anyone that's, around you that's on that same journey. And so, just want to honor you in that, first of all.
Thank you.
But what are some of the challenges? Because you've really opened, is that a word? Opened my eyes to like, I'm not in that situation. And so you've really opened my eyes to kind of what it's like for you. But why don't you would you mind just sharing some of kind of the challenges that maybe people don't see?
I think the main thing, firstly, thank you. That's very, very generous of you. But I think you're such a safe, lovely person as well. So it's very easy to be open with you. But I think you do, that the tendency can be to feel a bit isolated, because you are navigating something that's very nuanced and every day is different. And sort of, there's some really weird things that you have to be really rigid about on behalf of your kids that don't translate well into the real world, So it's like, we have to do it this way. And, so you have to be quite strong, I think. And often the big thing for me, I'd say, is like I had to journey with being misunderstood.
Okay.
Because so often I'll be doing something or I'll not be correcting something because I'm going to die on a different hill later.
Right.
So for me, like if we're having sweets on the way to school, like that might be how that's going today because we're going to school.
Right.
So,
right.
But if I was to say that to somebody just in passing, they'd be like, oh my gosh, you know, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you do that. And it's like, you have no idea the amount of decisions and things I'm choosing to try and get us to this point or to the next hurdle, to the next thing. So I think there's that the danger is that you can feel a bit isolated and misunderstood. I think when I started it all, I was just so grateful to everybody, like who was helping us at the schools, whatever. I was like, you know, we'd have these meetings and I'd just be like, you know, just thank you so much, just thank you so much. And then I just noticed as the years went by, it was like I realized that the inner advocate comes out, and then suddenly it's not that you're not grateful, but you're also like, thank you so much, and please make sure that you are doing this, and so it's like, it's funny how like the tigress kind of comes out, the tiger mom, it like grows and develops even more when you've got kids with additional needs, I'd say. But yeah, I think it's the sadness is when you try to share a story or a scenario with a friend or you know, also maybe it's just someone in passing, even someone at church or someone at the supermarket or whatever. If you try to, you think, okay, I'm gonna share something. I'm gonna give you a little bit of me, of our journey, and I'm quite a visual person, so it's like the way if you imagine I'm saying a story to you and the words are on a sentence like this. Every single one of those words has 1,000 words. So the weight of each, so I'm trying to tell you this story and it looks like that, but it's actually so layered. Yeah. And I can't even begin to explain all of that. But that's why, like, please be sensitive with your friends with additional needs, with children with additional needs, because it's like, if they try to tell you something, be really safe and encouraging, and don't say, oh yeah, my kids are the same. You know, it's like they're not. You know, and just be really, I think just really see them and let them speak, because it's huge that they've tried to share something with you or they've tried to be real with you. It's a massive deal, I think.
That is something that's hard that I was thinking about in terms of the point you made about friends. How we show up as friends when we're also mothers dealing with whatever we're going through. How have you navigated that?
What, to be a good friend?
Yeah, when you're
or even what you want to receive or need to receive because of what you deal with.
Thank you. That's really. I think friendships have always been really important to me, and I've been really. Like, I'm not obsessed, but like I really love my female friendships, and I've have some that have been really, really long time now. And then obviously then newer friends, and, you know, but I think there are friends that they've known me long enough that I can say I'm having a panic attack or something, and they'll just stay on the phone. And I think it's that, like,
beautiful.
Being able to say, you are my friend that I ring when I'm having a panic attack, or I think I can't do this. And so I have a friend who I particularly do that with, and she knows she's that friend to me. So in some ways, it's almost just acknowledging it and saying thank you, but also like, you are this person to me. And I think it's that, open communication is really helpful. And then I have other friends who I really don't talk about that much of the ins and outs of it. It's really funny, but I'm still really close with them. But it's more like, when I see them, I don't get to see them as often, for example, but then when I see them, I want to talk about our childhood memories. I want to laugh. I want to, like, it's a little escapism for me, you know? Yeah, but then there's the people that I do more day to day and like who I see more frequently. And then I think it is, I don't know, Charlie, you've always just made me feel very safe. I don't know, you've always made me feel not judged and very safe, and I think it is a gift. It depends on the person, really, doesn't it? It's not all about length of friendship, because Charlie's a newer friend, but I would say I feel like I could say stuff to you very easily, which is,
But I guess, like, to your point, that is a really fair, valid thing, because sometimes, like, if you're going through stuff that someone else is not, one of your friends isn't, and maybe, like, it's hard to know then how you can show up for them when you're going through all this stuff. Like, there's definitely been seasons, you know, and like I've had friends that are going through stuff, but I'm also going through stuff, and you're kind of like navigating that. Like, I really want to be there for you, but in this season, and I guess that comes down to the whole, in any relationship, some people can give more at different seasons than others. And I think a true strong relationship is when you can understand that of the other person. I know that you can't give 50 right now, so I'm going to come close to you and I'm going to give 90 because you can only give 10.
Totally.
I want to touch on that point where you said you've had to learn not to care what others might think, or if you're misunderstood.
Yeah.
And I think across the spectrum for mums, that is a massive thing.
Yeah,
regardless.
That's a universal thing, isn't it?
I have to learn not to care what you think, and I'm the worst for that. Like, hands up. Like, I can definitely care what people think. Dan calls me out on it all the time. Like, why do you care what they think? You know, even with my school mum friends. You know, like I can be like, oh, I don't want to do that because this person might think that, and Dan's like, what? Why do you care?
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard.
How do you do that? How do you just stop caring about what other people think of your, you know, in this situation, your parenting? I mean, it applies in all areas of life, but in this situation, like, how have you learned to actually do that?
I've not got that. Yeah, I mean, I'm on a journey with it for sure. Definitely definitely have my bad days. But no, I think it is because I've just been so publicly humiliated time and time again. I'm joking, don't worry. It's all right. No, but I just feel like when you get you just get your stripes a little bit.
Maybe the anthem should be, I get knocked down, but I get up again.
But I think it's the sting comes out when you're just like, when it's happening all the time, and then you just start to be like, they're looking at us, and there's a bit of a judgmental look on their face, but then I'm also like, but we're winning over here with this thing, or you just have to kind of have a little narrative with yourself, I think. I think it's hard when family members or something that I haven't had a lot of that, but I think it's, if you have extended, kind of people that you don't see all the time, and then they're like, that can be hard. But I think I'm still guilty of definitely caring what people think. But I think generally I just got so sick of feeling crap about myself. And I think I just was like, I'm determined to feel free in this area. And so instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, what are they thinking of me? I started to just be like,
and remembering you're on your own journey.
Yeah.
You're doing the best you can.
Yeah.
You're showing up. You're present again and again and again.
Yeah. And I feel like it is actually an amazing time to be a woman in a weird way, this day and age that we're in right now. Like considering what it was even, 13 years ago when I first became a mum, I think it's like it's actually really an exciting time because people are all everybody's lives look so different, right? Like people are doing all sorts of different things. Men and women have different responsibilities, and so actually if we can embrace that and say, let's not look to the right and to the left, let's just look at the race we're running, there's such freedom in it.
So you talked about the challenges, but on the other side of that, what are some of the maybe beautiful things or the unexpected joys that you have found in this journey of parenting neurodiverse children?
I think probably just that I didn't have much grit, and I think that I have developed more grit as a woman in general, but also as a mother. But I think definitely, as I say, I'm definitely not a sort of a finished article, but I feel like there is something about when you deal with something and then you get up again, or you and your husband end up having such a laugh after a really tricky thing, and you think, look at us, we're actually all right. That's really exciting that we can still find each other really funny, or you know what I mean? It's like, even though that situation was really draining and hard, we're so in it together. Or I think marriage is a massive gift for me, I would say. And I think the kids they are hilarious as well. They're just so funny. And I was thinking about them, and I was like, gosh, my kids are not boring. I got some of those kids, you see some kids and you're like, oh, come on, get it. And I'm like, mine are loud and proud, and they're so wild and embarrassing sometimes because they're so rude and they've got no filter, and I'm literally I'm picking a different hill to die on, sorry, judge away. But at least they're not boring.
I love that. As we kind of just start to bring it to a close, I think something that I really wanted to touch on today was kind of the identity shift that happens when you become a mum. Mm-hmm. We know that motherhood reshapes us and it changes us, and it reshapes our time, our priorities, our identity. And I think for some people that's great and it can be humbling and grounding, but for other people it can provide a lot of complexities and difficulties, and it can really catch people off guard. Mm-hmm. And so I guess I wanted to ask you ladies, did becoming a mum change your identity in how you saw yourself?
Yeah, completely. I think I had a lot of anxiety about becoming a mother.
Why was that?
I think I just always had a very complex perspective of motherhood, which I feel was actually healed in becoming a mother. So my mother, she was amazing. She was like in Nigeria, she was one of the biggest people in kind of the airline industry. And her mental health started to deteriorate. So then my father had my older sister, my older brother, and I came to the UK with my biological mum. And from the age of 2 till 8, I was in and out of foster care. Always going back to my mother, but you know, her mental health was really suffering. She wasn't always able to feed me. She wasn't able to take me to school. I had become such a liar to overcompensate for the fact that there was absence in my life. And then I'm also, you know, treating her whilst, you know, she's misusing her medication. Like I was literally an adult at 4 years old, calling the ambulance when things happen. So I think I kind of grew up with the mindset of, I wouldn't want to have children and that happens to them. I don't know if I'm going to inherit any of her mental health. It was all those anxieties around what am I going to become? And I can't do that to a child. But I also say that even though she had her challenges, she was the exact mother that I needed. Still through her mental health, she still taught me 5 languages.
Wow.
You know, she still ensured that I was reading at 2.5, 3 years old. Like I was always, and if she hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be where I am now because I missed so much school because of being moved from different foster homes and different different schools. So by the time I was 11, I'd been to 17 different schools. If she didn't set me up academically to be able to self-teach in that way, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I just feel like that the grace that I have for her, I extend to myself.
That's amazing.
Because it wasn't her fault. And even with her battling all of that, she was an amazing mother. And I'm so grateful that I was able to even see her imperfections because it's made me so much of a better person. If I had, for me, as the person I am, if I had a straightforward life, I don't think I'd be a very nice person. I just don't think, I think God enables us to go through the hardships in life so that we become the people that he's designed for us to be. And I think that's why, bringing back your first question around like kind of comparison, I just don't struggle with comparison because I have such a perspective that we are all walking our path. And if we're all walking our path, only I can parent these children, only me.
I love that.
No one else can do it. So there is no judgment because I'm doing it in the right and best way that I can. And this is what they need in the imperfections and in the days where I'm giving myself a pat on the back or a tick in the box. In all of it, that is what they need.
I love that.
Good.
What would you say, Alice? Do you think motherhood has changed your identity?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I had visions of what motherhood was going to be like. And then I had my daughter first and, you know, she was really straightforward, like, you know, all sort of textbook kind of milestones, all that kind of thing. And so I think I was quite enjoying that, you know, it definitely was feeling that pinch of selfishness and you're like, oh gosh, you know, my time's not my own anymore. So definitely was feeling all of those things. But then when we had the boys, it was just a different thing of, well, particularly with my first son, it was that thing where you're feeling like things are really, really hard. So for those that haven't got a diagnosis yet, or perhaps they're just looking at their little toddler and thinking, oh my gosh, this is so hard or whatever. That's how I was. I just remember thinking, wow, why do I always feel like I'm always wanting a break? You know, I feel like my friend who's got a child the same kind of age isn't needing breaks as much as I am. And it's like, look, you know, and as you look at it now, you think, oh yeah, it's because you were walking a slightly different thing. And I think what then I had years of feeling like I'm not a good mother. And I'm really doing such a shocking job because he's not hitting his milestones. He's not doing this. He's not thriving. He's miserable. And so, of course, you look to yourself because you think, well, I'm with him, you know. So I definitely really struggled with identity as a mother around that time because it's so measurable, isn't it? It's like the kids in matching linen sets in earth tones on a Sunday, and and it's like, we haven't got shoes on, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, so I think there's a lot of opportunity to feel rubbish about yourself, isn't there? But I think it's and that's why I think if you do end up getting diagnoses to help you or whatever, it can be quite freeing, because then you're like, okay, this is what my motherhood journey looks like. And that takes a while, because there's just some really, really, if you're having moments, for the mums that are dealing with elopement, toddlers that are eloping, like not just the usual toddler elopement, those that in the know will know, but like, things that are really, really scary and draining, it can make you just feel like a terrible mother. And then also you start to think, I don't know if I want to do this, I don't know if I can do this. This is so hard. And then it's amazing how, like, I just think when you get people around you as you journey with it, but then also God was just so pivotal for me, it was like, I was sort of I felt like I was stepping into the fire, but he was already there. He wasn't following me in. He was there first. So it's that thing, it's that amazing song, Another in the Fire, which was written about, it's an amazing worship song. But I think it is that idea of that I had thought that motherhood was going to be this really cool thing. And then I had to grieve the fact that it looked a bit different than I thought. Yeah. And that it wasn't measurable in some ways. That's a bit of a lie. But at the time it felt not very measurable, because actually everybody was sort of not, it was all really, really hard and not, thriving. People in the house weren't thriving. And I think, and then also there's that, when you have, I had seasons of like feeling quite low and feeling very anxious, and none of that feels great, does it? You don't feel like, is this motherhood, kind of thing. And I think that's where you need that outside. You need people to come in and speak truth to you and say, you are an amazing mother. This is what you're doing. And it's really, really important stuff.
I love that.
And just saying sorry to them all the time, I think, as well, because I think it's just, as long as you can say sorry to them. I mean, I'm saying sorry to my 13-year-old all the time at the moment, because I didn't know how, like, I get very irritable. Right. I'm so tired and I'm so irritable. Right. And then she's still awake. She's 13, And I'm like, sometimes I feel like parenting almost needs to be like clocked out. Right. You clock off at 10 p.m. It's like, after 10 p.m, you're not going to get good stuff from my mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, at this point, we're going to get really like cross, harsh words.
I think that's so beautiful what you shared. And there's two things, I think, just to finish on that, I just think wrap up this so well. Like, you felt at times like you were failing. Mm-hmm. And then you said people came in and encouraged you that you're doing a great job and you're doing better than you think. Yeah, and I think more and more mums need to hear that message. Like, you're not a failure. If you're struggling, maybe someone's watching today and they think that they aren't doing a good job, that they haven't got it all together. I think that's the message, right? Like, we see you and you're doing better than you think. What would be your final words to the mum out there? Or what do you wish that mums actually heard more of? Heard or saw or got spoken over them more about this kind of motherhood journey? What would you say to that mum that's sat there listening going, I am a rubbish mum right now. I am not doing well.
I think I'll piggyback off something that you said, which was about grief. You're allowed to grieve the person that you were. You're allowed to grieve what happens in each season that you think you were robbed of. Something I felt robbed of was having a mother alongside me becoming a mother. I was estranged from my adopted parents, and I felt a huge loss as my mum had passed. So I would see my friends with their mothers moving in for a few months and be like, oh, that would be nice. But I had to grieve that. And I feel like community is such a healer for grief in who you were, in who you're becoming, in the challenges you have. I would encourage mothers to seek community, whether it's in church, whether it's at your Pilates class, whether it's at a coffee shop. I just think community as a mum is sometimes all we have. Sometimes all you have when marriage is tough, when parenting is tough, when work is tough. Sometimes it's the community that keeps you going.
Oh, so, totally.
Any final words?
Yeah, I think I'd probably just say hang in there. Like, I think, more often than not, the season that you're in or the moment that you're in, if it's really challenging or if you're feeling like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, whether that's, sleep deprivation, there are seasons of sleep deprivation, aren't there, for people that are just, they send them absolutely, they just feel like they're losing their mind kind of thing because it's so hard. But I think trying to remember that things move on, and more often than not, you won't be stuck here forever. But just, I really feel like there is power in communication. So real, raw communication with, as you said, with community, with friends and family, but also just like with God as well. So just like I really don't think that God needs me to be put together at all. I really think I can just like yell at him and tell him how it's really going, and get really cross with him sometimes. And even now, like I'll just be like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Can you just help me out? Yes. But I think, just like, got to be real, just got to be real. And I think that's when you attract friends to you and people to you that are also like, let's be real,
I love that. Ladies, thank you so much. I think we will wrap up there, but so grateful for all the wisdom that you both shared. So thank you for being so vulnerable and open today. Thank you so much for listening. Really hope that encouraged and helped you. Again, we just want to shout out and honor all you mums for all that you do. Thank you so much for listening today. If you haven't, subscribe to our channels, and we will see you for our next Young Cubs Parenting podcast soon.